Hey guys, how are you doing? Jen Page here. I'm here with my friend Nicki Krawczyk from Filthy Rich Writer, and we are going to talk about things that you aren't normally going to hear artists talking about, and that's email campaigns and copywriting.
Yep.
All the good
All the
stuff,
cool stuff.
all the things that marketers talk about that we kind of should be talking about more. So, okay, so what is copywriting?
Yeah, so I know, well, and especially for artists, they're like, wait, well, I know I need to copyright my music, totally different thing.
Yeah, totally
So copywriting is like advertising and marketing writing. It's the writing that is designed to get people to take some sort of action, whether it's sign up for your email list, whether it's download your music, whether it's, all kinds of different things. But it is the writing that you put together that kind of builds a relationship between you and the people that are on your email list, and then eventually gets them to take an action you want them to take.
So what do you think? There's a big myth out there. I'm going to just say what I think, but there's a big thought that email is dead. What are your thoughts on that?
No. Maybe if you're really invested in instant messaging, you want people to believe that, but no, it's absolutely not dead. It is probably even more effective than it's ever been. It's such a great way to create a personal connection without having to actually be with someone in person.
Right, I totally agree with that. Yeah,
it's like it's getting a letter from a friend, which is it's getting a letter from a friend, but you can also set it up so it's automated, so you're not having to create a new email every time someone signs up for your list or something like that.
I'm such a fan of automation. If I could automate my life, I would. I love it so much, because the second that you start to automate anything, you're like, oh, that was amazing. That was the best thing ever. Like, how did that work? And so I've only learned about it within the last couple of years, and only personally started using it over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to learn more and more and more about that. So I know you're really, really great at ever webinars, like webinars that are kind of set on autopilot.
Yeah.
So as artists, one question I would love to ask you is, Nicki is like such a professional at, words that sell and all of those kind of like conversion type things, which is something that artists really don't want to talk about, because we want to be creators. We want to consider ourselves like people who are just creating art and putting it out in the world. We don't really want to, I feel like a lot of people have that trouble with that sales conversation, but artists, I would say 10 times 10.
Yeah.
Times 10. And so, and then at the end of our sales funnel, it's like a 99-cent download. Like, when, it's crazy. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, is it worth it to set up an email campaign for 99-cent download?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first part of it is that I know people are like, oh, I don't want to ask for sales. I don't want it to sell people. I just want to create my art. So the first part to think about is that when you're setting up an email funnel, an email automation, is that you're creating a connection with people. Like, your fans want to connect with you.
Right.
They love you. They love your music. They want to hear from you. And that's, when we talk automation, we're not talking about like robotic, you send this, then you send this. It's emails that you create that are genuinely like, hey, how are you doing? I just did this, and I want to tell you about, if you're at all interested in my process, I spent some time this morning working on a song and really insight into your life and what you do, and whether or not you realize this, your fans crave that from you.
Right.
They love your music, and they love you, and they want to hear from you. And you can write emails that, yes, are sent out on an automated, like they're on a schedule and they just automatically go out, but they can still build that genuine connection, because it's still you writing those emails, or someone helping you write those emails, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's nothing fake about it, and there's nothing like robotic about it. It's really an opportunity to create a genuine connection, but on a wider scale.
Yes.
And then once you create that connection, once you've spent, some of the emails in that series, like telling them about yourself and telling them maybe about your process, or what gets you really excited about your music, or anything. Not anything, but things that are important to you. Yes, not anything. But then once you have that connection, then is the time to start thinking about what do you want to sell them. But yes, to your point, it might not make sense to create like a whole long email funnel for a 99-cent download.
Right.
As important as those are, and we want people to listen to your music and buy your music on iTunes, whatever, there are other opportunities for selling that are beyond that 99-cent download.
Yes.
Which, you and I were chatting about this morning. There are, and you have some amazing concepts and things to teach them.
I'm super excited about the idea of all the things that's going on in the marketing world. Basically people are selling their expertise. And as artists, we don't necessarily want to do that because we want it just to make people feel things and whatever. That's really why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And so we're answering a personal need. Then if it happens to affect others, we're just thrilled. And so we're not thinking like businesses. But I feel like what I've learned from the marketing world is there's a way to do business and also create where everybody wins.
Yeah.
And then there's all this potential for other offers outside of that 99-cent download.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier about, maybe you write a song for a wedding, or maybe you
custom song
or you have your process, like this is how I record, or this is how I teach, or whatever your expertise is.
Yeah.
I feel like people are always looking for like more when they love you and they trust you.
More ways to connect with you.
Yeah.
And it really is important to think out of the box in terms of your offering. I know that it takes so much heart and soul to write a song, and when you're done, you're like, oh no, just go out and be bought by 1 million people. But unfortunately, that's not necessarily how it happens.
And it's not like that in any business.
That.
Like no business just gets to be like, I created something wonderful, and then I never talked about it again.
Yeah.
But I feel like art, we feel like because we created it, we want people to find it. We want them to discover us. We want it to speak for itself, let our art speak for itself. But it's just honestly not how it works. And back in the day when there were like major labels, and there's of course still major labels that do big marketing campaigns and stuff, but those are a lot less few and far between.
Yeah, if you're Beyonce, absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
But unfortunately,
most people in the world today, even large, big artists, are very much, selling themselves, whether it's on social media or through a Patreon account or through, there's so many people doing so many like forward-thinking things, but I feel like there's a lot of room even there.
Yeah, it's kind of like we talk about creating art, whether it's writing or whether it's writing a song. It's it's like giving birth to this beautiful new creative thing. But the thing is, once you give birth to it, you don't like send it out into the world. You be found by someone.
Yeah.
You have to support it and raise it and
feed
put it out.
Oh,
yeah.
So boring.
Yeah. And you have to get a sitter, put it through college. No, but
sitter to college.
Sitter to college.
That's exactly what happens.
But you have to support your art, and because when you support your art will support you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I just think it's so cool that we're in a time when we can think outside of the box and that so much is possible.
Yes.
It feels overwhelming, but what would you tell to somebody who's never put together an email campaign? They've never written an email to, their listener or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how can they just get started?
I think people get freaked out because they think of it as like, I am writing marketing emails right now. It's absolutely not the way to think about it. The way to think about it is to imagine that, like, just open your email and write it as if you're writing to your best friend.
Okay.
And what do you want to tell them? Hey, I'm working on this new stuff. I'm really excited about this for this reason. The more you can be, the better. You don't need like the perfect wording. You need you to come across. Your fans want you and your work and what you have to offer. So, if you can open an email and say, hey there, I just had the craziest experience. I was working on this song. This song, and had this, came across this great idea, and I just had to share it because it was so exciting and so much fun. Hope you're having a great day. It's really that, it's not simple or easy, but it doesn't have to be crazy difficult.
Okay.
All you're looking to do is just really create that connection.
Stay in touch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And how often would you say it's okay to do a sales, pitch within one of those emails?
You definitely want to spend some time building up that relationship first.
Okay.
So at least a couple of emails of nurturing that relationship, of just sending them, you can even send them, thank God for the internet, like the stuff that you can send them, you could set up an automated campaign that's like, hey, here's this little riff I'm working on in a song. Let me know what you think. Like a little insider insight into something you're working on. Oh my God, your fans would love that.
Yeah.
So, send out a couple of those first, at least 3 or 4 of those. And then you can start to tease it. You can say, oh, I have something coming that I'm really excited about telling you guys about. I'll be able to tell you about it in a couple of days. In the meantime, just keep your eyes on your inbox, because that starts to build up some excitement about it. Exactly. Yeah. In addition to any normal excitement they would have just from hearing from you. And then, tease it for an email or two, something. I've got something exciting coming. Can't wait to tell you guys. Chat later. And then after that, after the series of emails, you can start saying, hey, I'm so excited to announce whatever it is that you're offering. Maybe it is 99-cent download, but maybe it's
which
something,
is a great place to start.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe it's something. I'm now writing custom songs for events. It's very limited opportunity, however you want to do it. But
I love that.
yeah, it's and you can all set this up so it all happens automatically. You write it once. Yes, Jen loves it.
I love it.
And I love it too. My businesses are pretty much run on autopilot. And
Yes.
and I want to be very clear that it's not, there's nothing robotic about it. There's nothing like,
No.
then you're gonna,
It's not like you're still there manning the emails.
Yeah,
You,
and
you
it comes
see the
from my heart.
replies.
Yes,
You handle the replies.
Exactly.
You do all the things. So it's like if
Exactly.
somebody wants to reach back, you're right there for them.
yeah, and
And you don't have to. There's just no way you could handle that many people on a large scale that we're all looking to grow to.
Yeah.
One-on-one. There's
Yeah.
just, it's not possible.
Yeah.
So
And
this is such a great opportunity to be able to automate stuff.
Yeah. And I was saying today that, almost all of my emails are sent out automated. And I still regularly get emails back from people being like, oh my God, thank you so much for sending this. This made such a difference in my day.
You're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I forgot that went out today.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
great. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's all from my heart. The stuff that you send out is going to be from your heart. It doesn't make it any different when you're setting it up as an automated send.
Has there been
Just
a
makes it easier
book
for
or
you.
has there been a book or anything like on copywriting? So tell them what copywriting is, because even for me, like I remember being like, what even is copywriting? Why is that important? And words that
Yeah.
certain words or keywords, or how much attention do you pay to all that?
Well, I
You
do it
do.
for a living, so I pay a ton of attention to it.
Yeah.
But if you're just kind of starting to get into marketing yourself, you just want to be deliberate about the messages that you put out there. Whether it's via email or whether it's, on your social posts, that kind of thing. Copywriting is a strategy for using your words to get people to take action. And that's it's a big concept. I mean, it's a full career, right? So but I'm not saying you necessarily need to hire a copywriter either. You can kind of dip your toes in it and see what works. If you send out an email and you have something as a subject line, go back into your email service and see if that kind of subject line got people to open it. And if it didn't, maybe try a different kind of subject line later. And not to get too crazy, but a lot of email service providers will let you split test. So they just automatically send one subject line out to one group and one subject line out to the other group. So you can go back in later and be like, oh, subject line A made a huge difference. So in the future, let's go with subject line A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I love all of that. It's
Yeah,
also
all kinds of stuff to
interesting.
play with.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else that we should know about copywriting, about email series, about growing our business from scratch as creative
From
people?
scratch. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just to think out of the box. Think of ways that you can connect with your fans outside of the way that everybody else does it. Because even so many people just they write their music, which is a big accomplishment, don't get me wrong, and then they upload it and they're like, okay, now I will let my fans download it. But that's just not the way it works, if it ever worked that way.
Right. I don't think it did. I think there's like a misconception that that's
Yeah.
how it worked, but there was always before a big team of paid little marchers out there doing this angle of the business, that angle of the business, and now all these indie artists go out and they expect to just be able to put up a record and have it take off and it just never worked like that. Maybe once in a blue moon something like that would work, but only if a big person got a hold of it. So that's kind of one of those miracle moments that
Yeah.
you can't base your career around a miracle, right?
Yeah.
You want to have those miracles, but you want to be prepared for anything else. You know?
The nice thing is that there's so many people that are doing it the kind of base level,
Yeah.
that if you just go the extra mile, even just a little bit,
Yeah.
it's going to set you apart
Totally agree
so
with that.
far from
Yeah.
everybody else.
So true.
And anything that you can do to offer different things. And I know as part of Jen's coaching, she teaches you all that stuff and works it through with you. But anything that you can do to connect with people in different ways and connect with them more and just stay in touch with them, because there's so many artists who have email lists, and you sign up for the email list and you hear from them like
Once a
every
year.
Yeah, exactly, once a year. Like
When they put out the record.
exactly, when they have, like, hey,
It's even like that with the majors. Like, that's
Yeah.
what happens because, people
Yeah.
just do like, hey, I've got a new record dropping.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, there's so much more there.
But if you stay in touch, if you send like even just one email a week, they're like, oh yeah, God, I haven't listened to that song in a while. Let me listen. Or like, oh, I wonder what she's up to. Or oh, I want to hear from her. And then when you have more things to offer, they're looking out for your emails and they're much more
created
excited.
that relationship. Yeah, so true. I love it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So good. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. You can check out Nicki. Where should they check you out?
That's a great question. BillHewittWriter.com is where I teach people to become professional copywriters. But you can also go over to copyforsolopreneurs.com. I also do have some good resources there. So some freebies at Copy for Solopreneurs that are worth downloading no matter what.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be awesome. Okay, thanks guys for watching, and we will see you soon. See ya.